Welcome to the Mitchell Pelkey Lacrosse Show presented by Duke Cannon. On today's episode, we got a heavy one. We're diving straight into the 2026 NCAA bracket. Dan Shamati welcoming Duke to Richmond. Virginia climbing to the number 5 seed. Penn State and Army going head-to-head. And I reveal my team of destiny.
Hoagie, I'm going to start with you. First off, I want to give you credit. You predicted Penn State to win the Big Ten tournament about a month ago. Absolute fantastic call. But we've got to talk about the Terps. You never wavered your faith with them, and you even predicted them to make championship weekend a few weeks ago. The iPad has failed John Tillman today. They missed the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2002. What do you got to say to your boy, Dr. Tillman?
Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked that Maryland didn't make the NCAA tournament. Not because they didn't get in on selection, they're just shocked given the whole season, how it went down. Preseason number 1 team, number 1 transfer portal class, bringing Chris Lyons and Leo Johnson. That was supposed to get them over the hump. We were talking about a little bit in the preseason. Could they go undefeated? I saw some stuff on Twitter. There was all the hype train around this Maryland team. I'm shocked that they didn't get in. I'm really shocked with how the season ended. They went 1-6 against top 10 teams this year, which is just unlike what Maryland's done in the past. They didn't do enough to get in. So, I was wrong. I'll stand on the I was wrong with John Tillman track, which I'll be right back on the Maryland bandwagon next year with Death Tax's Maryland Final Four. So I'm not 100%. Hopping off the bandwagon at all. So
I think
just a little bump in the road, and then we'll be back to regularly scheduled business.
As a part of the Hoagie hype, by the way, I did find it funny on Twitter that he was like, I've been telling you guys all month about Princeton and the number 1 team in the country. And I was like, didn't something happen with Maryland this weekend? 0 tweets from Hoagie.
This guy, 0 pointing the thumb.
I've had Princeton.
Taking the victory lap.
No, it's so funny how everyone now all of a sudden has Princeton number 1. After weeks, I've had Princeton number 1. I've been getting
when this guy has countless
in
different teams at the number 1, one of them's got to land. More pucks on the net. But Hoagie, I want to stick
I'm a
with you
Hoagie hype
here.
guy.
We all are. We love our
Yeah.
guy. We're never going to give up on our guy. But, Hoagie, I want to come back to you. The Duke Blue Devils, who you've been critical of this season, snuck into the tournament.
They did.
Lurking right on in. They play Richmond. And their head coach is Dan Shamati, a Duke Lacrosse alum. What stands out to you about that matchup?
Yeah, I think this is going to be my favorite matchup of round 1. It's the one I'm most excited for going into the first weekend of the NCAA tournament. I think the environment's going to be special at Robins Stadium. That's a Saturday night game under the lights. First time Richmond will ever host a first-round NCAA tournament game. They get Duke to come to town, the big bad boys from the ACC, the Blue Blood team. A team that they've played a lot. So they're familiar with Duke. Last year there was a classic. Ada McGuire hit the 2 overtime winner at Robins Stadium for Duke to beat Richmond. So to me, I think it's going to be a very special environment, one of the best games of the weekend. Duke's coming in playing with house money, really nothing to lose, and Richmond kind of for the first time ever is in that, I'm not an underdog, I'm supposed to win kind of game. So the thing I'm looking forward to the most this weekend is kind of how will Richmond handle the magnitude of the moment? How do they handle being on the biggest stage of the sport? We saw them go toe-to-toe with teams last year. They beat North Carolina in the first round. That was a first-round noon game, a little bit of a snooze spot. This is prime time, big boy time. You got Duke coming to town. How does Richmond handle it? We saw the little instance of, they played a little A-10 competition, played Notre Dame, didn't show up. Is that going to be, are they going to be a little slow out of the gate, having played some A-10 teams and now going back to the big boy leagues? But I think for me, I'm going to look and see how does Richmond handle the moment? How do they handle the magnitude of it? But I think it's going to be a special atmosphere.
It's going to be special. It's going to be exciting. Dukes, let's get you in the mix. If
Okay.
Shamati, the Richmond head coach, Duke Lacrosse alum back in the day, if they knock off the Blue Devils, should Shamati be the first person in line if Danowski retires down in Durham?
He's your white whale. You have got to call him. I feel personally that Duke's going to make the comfortable call, which the comfortable call is not pissing off your Hall of Fame coach. I think they're just going to end up hiring Matt Danowski. It's the wrong call. Duke basketball, we saw after Coach K retired, their Hall of Fame basketball coach, they got John Shire. It's worked out for them for the most part. But I don't think John Shire is in that Duke locker room right now. And again, I think Shamati is a Richmond lifer, but I think the one job he would leave for is Duke. But going back to the matchup itself, I think Richmond got absolutely hosed with this. Being the number 4 overall seed, I think they'd rather play Georgetown again. I think they'd rather play Hopkins. And honestly, I get the location aspect of it, and the fact that Duke, we've been saying, plays nobody. just feels like when you get a pissed off Duke team that's rolling into your crib and it's a big time opponent, like that's a scary matchup. I think everyone's kind of looking at that like, oh, here we go. Little boy Richmond playing up the big boys. But Hoagie was talking about what the locker room will be like.
Yeah.
I think we've seen this core. Chamati just levels the playing field. They go out, they attack A10 play the same. They didn't slip up once in A10 play. They didn't get off the bus against Notre Dame. But I think that's actually more of the outlier when they play the big boys. Every other time they've gotten off the bus. I have the utmost confidence in Richmond going into this weekend, but I know we'll dive into that a little bit later.
This game gives me Ohio State, Notre Dame vibes from last year. That's exactly what it gives me. It
Do you
gives
agree,
me
dudes, with that?
No, not at all.
Me...
I mean, comparing Richmond to Ohio State in any world is so disrespectful to this Richmond Spiders team. I mean, Richmond, the season that they have this year, like Ohio State was celebrating like best season ever last year.
It's Richmond's best season ever.
Yeah,
it is, but it's I mean, it's the mid-10 this year, but we see the Big Ten.
I mean, Ohio State would have had the same record playing Richmond's schedule. They beat Georgetown.
Well,
They beat
so
Cornell.
Lost Notre Dame.
So you're saying they'd also beat Virginia?
Ohio State? I think they would have if they played them in the second game of the season. Yes, I do. I think that Virginia team.
That sucks to say. Richmond blew them off the bus, though. I don't know. That would be a fun matchup. I hope we get that round 2, to be honest. I think that would be great for lacrosse.
That would be great for lacrosse. I'd love to see that too. The two Virginia schools fighting to go to championship weekend in Virginia. Dukes, you mentioned this on our live reaction show too, of like everyone's talking about like UVA going to championship weekend. What if like Richmond was the school that's playing in UVA Stadium in the Final Four?
Yeah, I know we're going to get into the brackets a little bit later, but the amount of storylines that this tournament's offering right now, it's unbelievable. So happy it's May.
No, it's going to be great. I mean, I'm so excited for this May. This has probably been the most wide open it's been in a ton of years. Kev, let's get you in the mix, baby. What are you going to be watching this Saturday?
Yeah, in terms of on the field in this game, 2026 might be the year of the short stick defensive midfielder. We saw one go number 1 overall in Aidan McGuire. But the short stick defensive midfielders that are going to be on the field for this game, if you're a young one, you should be watching this.
Yes.
In fact, if you're a midfielder at all who is ever on the defensive side of the field or a two-way midfielder, you must watch this game. Not only is Aidan McGuire playing, number 23 on Duke, watch him, both first-team All-Americans from the midseason IL poll are going to be on the field. Richmond's Jack Pilling, number 19, is maybe just as good as Aidan McGuire, just doesn't get the same spotlight. And then a two-way midfielder you got to have your eye on is Charlie Packard. Was a Team USA guy last year and also went off. You remember Richmond going to North Carolina and beating North Carolina? The guy who stepped up and played great for them was Charlie Packard down the stretch. Also scored a goal against Cornell. So Jack Pilling, Charlie Packard, Aidan McGuire, those are your two-way short stick defensive midfielders of the future. Watch them if you're a young one at home.
Saturday night's going to be a beauty. 7:30 ESPNU. The Blue Devils will take on the Spiders. Let's hop to a little Georgetown, Virginia on Sunday. UVA won its first ACC tournament championship since 2019 by dominating UNC. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Hoagie's the only one that picked that right.
Yeah.
On the Peckham graphic, yeah. You got to ride
Hoagie.
momentum.
Congrats, Hoagie. Give you your flowers again. The Who's are rolling right now. They're the 5th seed in the tournament. They'll play Georgetown, obviously, in the first round. Dukes, what's gone right for UVA recently?
The offense just caught lightning in a bottle. I think all season long, the two things that Virginia could rely on, obviously, were the Millen brothers. And they've just been able to step it up so much, in my opinion, because of the offensive production they've gotten from the midfield. Joey Terenzi, the two-way beast for Virginia. Like, Ryan Dunkel, the way that he's come on. Kyle Colsey, and then like Truett Sunderland. Shout out to ZC in the back. He said that he's getting 2016 vibes, Chris Clouchet version from Truett Sunderland.
Bang.
I love that call. But I think it's really has been just the health that they've gotten. Like everyone points at the Towson game, right, as like the low point of their season. Or you could look at the high point of their season if you're Lars Tiffany in that the best loss ever in double overtime to Maryland. But I think it's just when they got healthy, right? Like John Schroeder coming back. I think his first game back might have been the Towson game. Terenzi was around that same time period. And I think those have been two of, like, low-key, the biggest X factors to Virginia's season. Because the offense has always been there. It's kind of been the defensive side of the field and the middle of the field. I think Terenzi's been fantastic for Virginia.
UVA's rolling. It's going to be so exciting. If Destiny can repeat itself, I can't wait for you guys to see my Final Four, my championship. I'm a big Destiny guy. That's all I gotta say.
I had a feeling.
It's going to be Virginia-Syracuse in his national
No,
championship.
don't get away just yet.
So that one
Dude,
of
this guy's a
Destiny's
spoiler.
wins.
He's addicted
I know.
to spoilers.
Don't be a. Gosh, this guy.
We start. So if you haven't watched the Selection Sunday reaction show, go watch that now. But we
Yes.
didn't know how to handle the leak situation, which I'm sure we might talk about later. But the leak heard around the world. And Hoagie starts off the live show and he goes like, pumped to be here. He's like, got leaked. Duke's in. I was like, no spoiler alert. Jesus, Hoagie.
It's out. Everyone's seen it.
Oh my God.
I was dying, but I do want to say, me and Hoagie talked about this on the live show last night, and when we're talking about like what's gone right with Virginia, like I think everyone's going to point to Brendan Millen, where like production-wise, he's been elite all season long, but it's now in the national spotlight. Hoagie always talks about how you need to get like a high-powered offense that could go in a track meet, get 16, 17 goals. The fact that Brendan Millen isn't in the top 25 nominees right now is ridiculous. Nobody all season long on the bubble wanted to grab the bubble. Nobody has wanted to be like on the best team in the country. Nobody's grabbed anything this year. Nobody's grabbed the Tewaaraton today. Do you know, could any of us here confidently say, I know who's going to win the Tewaaraton? No. And if Virginia goes on a run, it'll be because of Brendan and McCabe hand in hand, and I wouldn't be pissed off at all if McCabe decided to kick down that door and grab it. But Brendan should at least be in the freaking discussion.
Do we see a Miles and Lyles situation?
I actually
Kev was talking
we
about
can. Yeah,
Is
we have a
did you confirm
voicemail
it?
on it later. Let's save it for the voicemail because we got a
Yeah,
voicemail.
save it
about
for the
later.
voicemail. You listeners and watchers on YouTube, if you're not already, subscribe to the TLN YouTube channel. Follow us on podcast. Stay tuned to the end of this episode. Kev, let's keep you in the mix here. What do you
By the
think
way, that was a
about
great, Mitch, great subscription plug and watch time plug. That was synergy right there.
Synergy? Some people say
That's
I'm a
a vet
YouTuber.
move,
I would
Phelps.
say I'm a broadcaster.
Yeah.
Virginia's
Mike
draw,
is a
Kev. What do you
YouTuber.
got?
Look, I thought that kind of what Dukes just said about Richmond. I don't think it's as bad as a draw that Richmond got to get Duke in the first round, but I think Georgetown's a lot better than others on this podcast are saying who jumped off the ship halfway through. I knew Georgetown was going to win their conference. I think they're better than a lot of people will consider. People say, oh, well, then they play good teams, they're not so good. You know, that's kind of the case for every team. But we've seen Georgetown get to the quarterfinals like clockwork. I think this Virginia game is going to be closer than most people think. And I wouldn't be shocked if Georgetown ended up winning it. I'm going to pick Virginia, not to give away my bracket. But one other thing I got to mention, Dude's given all these shout outs. I got to point the thumb. One thing I was wrong on. I said the reason why I wasn't picking Virginia in the ACC tournament is because I didn't trust their specialists as much as I trusted Notre Dame's. Thomas Ricciardelli was not good for Notre Dame in the semifinals, and Jake Merrick was. Jake Merrick was outstanding in the ACC championship. He was the ACC tournament MVP. So year after year, we see whichever team has a hot goalie, that goalie can take them on a run. I think Jake Merrick is playing at that level. Do I trust him to keep doing it for 3 more games to get him to the championship? We'll see. But if he plays the way he played in the ACC tournament, they will be playing out championship weekend for sure.
I got one thing for you quick, Kev, going off that. I agree with you, everything you basically just said. But if I had to ask you right now, who do you trust more going to the tournament, Thomas Ricciardelli or Jake Merrick, what's your answer?
My answer would still be Thomas Ricciardelli,
Same.
unfortunately. I know.
No,
So it's like,
exactly.
does it count to point the thumb if you don't learn your lesson? I don't know. But
Love that.
I'm
through the
running into
season,
this
Thomas
trap.
Ricciardelli was the more consistent goalie.
Yes. And I'm telling you, I'm running into this trap. Me and Hoagie were talking, we're like, we love saying what a story Jake Merrick is. And I would gladly be wrong. There's not one goalie in the country that I'd rather be wrong about than Jake Merrick. His story's so cool. We've talked about it every week on this show. But I just still can't buy it. And also your Georgetown pick I like because they are the champions of round one. Again, it's the annual Georgetown Classic. Get kicked out of the quarterfinals. Get kicked out of the club every year. Quarterfinals. So if this game was in the quarterfinals, I'd pick Virginia by 10. But the first round, it gets interesting.
Yes,
Yeah, I thought it was
does.
interesting, Georgetown, in that game. They did go to Durham last year and beat Duke when no one was really picking it. And obviously they had high hopes for Georgetown this year to really make a run, and they've been to quarterfinals. This year, I think they're a team that's going to give Virginia a game, and if Merrick doesn't play well, they can do it. But to me, what's different with this Georgetown team this year is they didn't beat anybody. In the past, they at least got 1 or 2 out of conference games against a quality team. They have 0 wins this entire year. So I don't trust them against the big boys in the ACC like that this year. Not buying it with the Hoyas. But watch, they'll prove me wrong. We're on here next week.
Yeah, I know that, Hoagie. I know they don't have the wins on the resume, but I like the players on the roster.
I agree.
Man.
I agree with that.
They haven't had players like the Connor brothers in terms of like top dog. I know Aiden Carroll was great last year, ended up being a first-round pick in the PLL, but I'm telling you, I think the Connor brothers are good, and they got some other dudes, Jake Bickle, and Lucas Dudemain, dude. They're guys who can like make serious highlight reel plays, and Anderson Moore's a great goalie. Like they got.
I love
players.
Ty Banks too, Kev.
Yeah, they got players at every position, so it's just a matter of it coming together at the right time.
Sunday night at Klockner, baby, under the lights.
Yeah, we got a blast Sunday night, 7:30 ESPNU. Klockner, if you're there in person. Virginia takes on the Hoyas. For the team of destiny, Syracuse Orange will welcome Yale to the Dome this weekend. Kev, let's stick with you. The young status terminology logic tonight is fueling me up. I want to keep it rolling with you. Is Yale a legit shot of knocking off Cuse and the player of destiny, Joey Spallina?
Hey, I'm sorry to all the Yale fans out there. I'm sorry to the Yale players out there. I'm writing you guys off before this game. I'm sorry if I'm cutting a promo right now, but Syracuse is going to roll in this game. You can write it, lock it. It's going to happen. The best team in college lacrosse this year is Syracuse at the Dome, where they're 7-0. We've mentioned it. The scoring margin of scoring victory is 6.5 goals per game. This Yale team is young. They were the last team to get into the tournament. They kind of just sneaked in because no one else could take that final bubble spot. Syracuse, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. They're the team of destiny. They're loaded with seniors, and this will be their last game ever at the Dome. With how much we talk about legacy, the number 22, Joey Spallina, do you think that he's going to lose his last game at the Dome? Do you think there's any chance Michael Leo, Finn Thompson, Luke Roa, Billy Dwan, Riley Figueres, that whole class that came in together, you think there's any chance they lose their last game at the Dome? If they do, forget the record, forget everything about this whole team. It's going to be the lasting memory. It's not happening.
We got that little Stephen A. Smith out of you. I love that. Keep that going. Hoagie, Dukes, what do you guys think?
Yeah, Hoagie, I'll go first on this one. Mitch, you've been talking about Team of Destiny at a nauseating degree since like last September during the PLL. And look, I do not think this team's good enough to win the championship. I just do not. When they played the top dogs on a neutral field, they just have not done enough for me to even take off my hater hat and say, go Cuse, go Orange, go Joey Spallina. Love Joey Spallina, number 22.
Would you say that to Joe Spallina face-to-face?
Yeah, and he'd like probably say that I still have a burner account. I'd have to like I'd have to pull out my Twitter account to him to prove that I don't. But how iconic or ironic would it be if the Syracuse Team of Destiny just loses to a random young Yale team, round one, when we're talking about them being dome merchants, they can only win in the Dome, and then all of a sudden, their season, their careers just end in the Dome on a random Sunday in May. Like, that's how I kind of see it going down. And I think Yale has a real shot. I think that we talk about experience in this tournament a lot, and I would tend to agree I'd rather have my team have experience. But sometimes ignorance is bliss. And when you play a team that has nothing to lose, we always talk about that Yale mentality. Andy Shea's got it done. He's won the championship. He's been to Final Fours. Patrick Bassano is a defender that can contain Joey. So I think Yale's got the dogs to get it done. You know what? Spoiler alert. I picked them.
I knew you were going
What?
to. I knew you were going to.
That's criminal.
To be fair to Syracuse and anyone listening to this podcast, they literally could have played anybody, and on the graphic I would have picked them, and then quietly to myself I would have been like, no, probably Syracuse. I legitimately, my balls think that Yale will win this.
Like that, deep down. Hoagie, agree or disagree? Give us your points.
I think Syracuse is in for a dogfight. I really do. I think this Yale team's super fun to watch. I think they play really hard. I think, Mitch, this is a team that beat Cornell on the road in Ithaca a couple weeks ago. They've taken Princeton to the brink twice, lost by 1 and 2 goals in 2 separate games. One of the hottest teams down the stretch, along with Virginia, this last month of the season here. And they're a super young team that's gaining confidence. I think To me, with Syracuse, kind of like Duke said, I've been on that wagon of Syracuse with like the team of destiny, like this is the year to go do it. And to me, in the biggest games, they haven't really shown up. They haven't really proven to me that they can really get it done. I think, to me, they've shown in the past, Syracuse, if we want to go back in history, they lost to Bryant in round 1 of the Dome. Albany took them to the brink in 2017. It was a 1-goal game. Like, they've had these close games in the tournament where they've almost lost. And look, I'm not picking them to lose. I'd be shocked if this era of Syracuse lacrosse ended in the Dome on Sunday in the first round. I think that would be something that all of us could just not fathom. And like Kev said, that's all that would be remembered from this group. So to say that they would lose to the Dome, I don't see that happening. I think this team's Joey Spleen and these senior guys are not going to let it happen. But I do think this game is a game that they could lose. And I told this to Dukes yesterday. I think there's a better chance Syracuse loses to Yale than they do win the national championship. I really do, because I just think that I was waiting. I picked Syracuse to win the ACC because I thought it was going to be a springboard for them to, hey, we get the wheels running and then we're off to the race for a championship we can run. Instead, they lose in the semifinal in the first game. They're going to head into the Dome on Sunday with the stick gripping a little tighter, Joey and all those guys knowing, hey, the next time we lose a game, this is it. They don't have the momentum. They don't have the confidence right now. I don't think they'll lose to Yale, but I wouldn't be shocked if it happened.
Wow. The lights are going to be too bright for them. I'm telling you.
Me and Hoagie did, as lacrosse fans, is there quarterfinal, Hoagie? Do we find out if the quarterfinal is in shorts at Hofstra?
It's at Hofstra, yeah.
Which me and Hoagie said that UNC versus Q's game would be great.
Yes.
It has to be. I don't even.
All the
I
Long
don't have
Island Cats.
Yeah, I don't have the bracket in
Dudes,
front of me.
are you going to be there on site?
No, I think I have a bachelor party. Not a baptism, Mitch. Not a baptism, bachelor party. I'm pretty pissed, but that feels just like that 2:30 slot rolling into a PLL Saturday. Sun going down, that is a treat.
Yeah, that's the Saturday one. It would be the Notre Dame bracket is at Hofstra and the Syracuse one, and then Princeton and those teams are at Delaware.
God, I can't wait. We're, as lacrosse fans, we're in heaven for this month with the PL this weekend and obviously the tournament. Super excited. Let's keep the conversation going. As we mentioned at the top, Penn State won the Big Ten tournament this weekend, earning a seed and a home game as a result. They take on Army, obviously, this Saturday. Hoagie, you've been high on Penn State for a while. We gave you your flowers at the beginning of this episode, but they've been a little inconsistent all year. What about this Penn State team makes you feel like they're going to get it done on Saturday?
Yeah, I think you're going to get the best version of Penn State. I think a kind of a weight lifted off their shoulder. I was on site at the Big Ten Championship for the semifinals and the championship. And to me, when they beat Maryland in that Big Ten semifinal, and those guys were all jumping on the goalie, in the crease in the goal after the game, you could felt like, all right, we're in the tournament, we're good. Because I felt like the last couple months, they've been on the little bit of we have the bad loss, we have the good losses. I think they've put that all behind them now. I think they'll move forward. I think a big question is Hunter Aquino. Obviously, he left the end of that game in the fourth quarter against Hopkins with an injury. We don't know what that is. I saw him post-game. He looked fine. He was celebrating. He was smiling. He was running around with the boys. So we don't know if it was a cramp or something. But it would change things if Hunter Aquino is not playing, because we see what he can do when he plays. He really takes his Penn State team to another level. But I think Preston Hawkins has been great in net lately. I think they have an amazing face-off duo. And I think this offense, honestly, besides Princeton, it's the best offense in the country when it hums and it plays its best. And I think Army will pose challenges. I think Army's going to come to play. They're going to try and slow it down. They're going to try and play physical. It's going to be a Big Ten-style game, which, as Duke said, Penn State is used to playing ACC-style games. So it's going to be more of a Big Ten-style game. So that is a question mark for me of how can Penn State respond to that. I could see it being a Penn State-Michigan type of game in terms of play style, but I just think Penn State has too much firepower. I think they'll come ready to play and get it done.
Mitch, great word on that Hunter Aquino sideline reporting, his persistence.
Yeah, you like that one. That came right out of the Ohio State Education, again, sport industry for all you guys out there in the sports industry school at Ohio State. Shout out. But Kev, let's keep you in the mix here. What do you think? Can the Black Knights get it done?
Hey, I just want to remind everyone that Penn State's 0-1 versus military academies so far this year. They lost the Navy earlier this year. So I need Penn State to prove that they're tough enough to win this game. I need Hunter Aquino, as much as I love him, to prove that he's not a Ferrari on a lift, because they're going up against a bunch of tanks in Army this weekend. And Evan Plunkett, revenge game? What do you think about that? Maybe take it back to 2023. Remember the NCAA quarterfinals? Remember when Army played Penn State? You remember how that game ended? It ended on a replay review, the last second of the game.
In
And
Annapolis.
they were about 0.2 of a second away from tying it up. And people kind of forget about that because Penn State goes on to the championship weekend. They have the whole Duke, Garrett Ledman, and the crease situation. But that Army team was dangerously close to making it to championship weekend that year. Evan Plunkett was a freshman on that team. He went 0 for 8 shooting in that game. I think he's got, end the chapter, fix things. Time's a flat circle. Evan Plunkett, revenge game against Penn State this weekend.
And these two scrimmaged, by the way, in the spring before the season. Penn State put it on them pretty good from behind closed doors, from what I heard. So can't take scrimmages too seriously. But these two teams did see each other early in January before the season. So it is interesting when you scrimmage.
And you'd factor that into their RPI probably.
Yeah, Kev. I love that.
This was the toughest game for me to choose. This was definitely the toughest game on the bracket to decide who's going to win. Because it
Wasn't
feels
that tough
like
for me.
What?
Wasn't
Really?
that tough for me? Hoagie, would you agree or disagree with that?
It was not tough for me. I didn't even second. No thoughts. Next.
Seriously, no thoughts.
I think we had
Penn
a
State
show
is-
where it
Mitch
took you
is
longer
drinking
than a second.
Mitch is starting to see the Penn State vision with me, Pelks, as of late. You see it up close.
Yes. I was broadcasting on site, sideline, me, the Italian Beninati, and Dixon.
It's a damn
Hoagie
good
was
team,
there too.
Pelks.
And drinking a little bit of the Kool-Aid.
Trust me,
I
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid too.
But you kind of had a little nervous.
But I
making the
mean,
picks.
any mid-10 team at this point, like I have to second guess. Like we talk about schedules, I'm worried about who they're playing. Playing a bunch of nobodies.
True.
There's no.
Well, we covered. No, I
You're
was
not
gonna say
worried about who Army's playing?
For sure, but they have. Does Army have a win over someone in the tournament?
No.
Okay, then I don't know. I just feel like Penn State hasn't played anybody. At least Army's gotten over the hump.
Penn
Like,
State
they've gotten
hasn't played anybody.
Yeah, who have they played? Big Ten teams? Mid-10? They haven't played anybody in like a month.
They beat Cornell 19-7. They beat Yale
when?
17-7.
When?
They beat Princeton.
When?
Forever ago.
Yeah, I said over in the last month.
They still beat
This
Maryland.
guy
loves
twice.
February lax.
Hoax, stop lumping me and then going after me. This was like basically we're talking about
Stand
scrimmages.
touchdown.
State doesn't have wins.
We're talking
It's
about
insane.
scrimmages.
They have more
Hoax.
wins than anyone in the country.
We're talking about scrimmages that happened in January 28th.
I'm not talking about a scrimmage. I'm saying
And they
it's
played
interesting that
February
they've
2nd.
seen each other face to face this year. It's an interesting point. Not everyone's season for the first time. They've scrimmaged. They've seen each other. The face-off guys have taken reps. I think it's an interesting point.
Army's
There's
tough,
a-
man. It's
Yeah.
just different, man. I know they maybe
different.
don't have all of the wins. You just know they're going to come prepared. You know they're going to be focused. You know they're going to play tough. They're going to punch you in the mouth. It's going to be interesting to see how Penn State responds to that. That's all I'm saying.
Also, Hoagie going against the Army propaganda. I'm going to get Captain Collins on your ass. They beat Yale.
Oh, yeah,
Oh!
they did beat Yale.
Yeah.
So did Penn
doesn't-
State.
Send a
He doesn't-
tweet
he-
after the podcast.
Actually,
I
they beat
don't- I don't-
Rutgers too. That's a good win. They beat Rutgers.
I
too,
also,
even though
Hoax,
they're
I will
tournament
not.
team.
I won't hold you against that. It was so long ago that a bunch of people won't remember. those
Hoagie,
games.
this is where
Rutgers
you
game
go-
doesn't count.
Hoagie,
It was
you
streamed
would go
on
like this.
Facebook.
Hoagie,
It was
this
on
would go,
Facebook.
Give it to me, Hoax.
Hoagie, let's see it. Hoagie, let's see it. Oh, let's take a screenshot. Oh, there we go. I like that. We covered 4 of the most compelling matchups. But Kev, I know you've got your eye on a pretty potential big upset. Are you rocking with the boys in purple and gold?
Look, this is a game. We're talking about UNC versus UAlbany. UNC is the 3 seed. Everything tells me that UNC should win this game. They absolutely should. But I'll give you 3 reasons why UAlbany might win this game. They
Oh
might
my
pull off the
God.
upset. Number 1, everyone should know, is Silas Richmond. Dude had 7
coming, I love
points
it.
in the America East Championship versus Vermont. I know versus Vermont, but he took over that game, and he did it in outstanding fashion. Hit us with a backhand. After, I might remind you, last week I said, give us a backhand goal. What did he do? Gave us a backhand goal. Lifted his team to an America East Championship to get into the tournament. So, number 1, Silas Richmond. Number 2, UNC is 2-3 in their last 5 games. And in those 3 losses, they've looked absolutely horrible. If the UNC team that showed up to play Notre Dame, Duke, Virginia in the ACC championship, I think any of the teams in the field could beat those UNC teams. They looked horrible. They got run off the field in the first half in each of those games. Lastly, number 3, we've seen UNC do this before. Last year, they lost to Richmond in the first round. And the story is rewriting itself. Owen Duffy was hurt down the stretch. We saw him pull up lame in the ACC championship game. Don't know the extent of that injury, but this will be the 3rd year in a row that Owen Duffy's a little banged up down the stretch. We know how much they rely on Owen Duffy. If he's not 100%, anything can happen.
Wow, I like that. Do you think Silas Richmond putting up 7 points has anything to do with him coming on the Mitch Opelka Lacrosse show?
Yeah.
I think it definitely has something to do with it. I think he had 10 points over the weekend. So,
Gosh.
yeah.
Look, for all you college players out there, if you want good luck, come on the show. Hoagie, should Hopkins be a little bit scared of Cornell and the return of Peter Milliman?
No, I don't see it at all. I don't. I think Hopkins is a very good team. I think they can play with a lot of the top teams. They've shown it. And they're never out of any of the games. We saw their great comeback against Virginia, Penn State. They came back. So even if they get down, they've shown they can come back. But I just don't see it. I think Cornell is not dropping this one at home. I think they're too talented. I think they're too well coached. I think the culture of Cornell is way too strong. I think they come to play. They handle their business. There's a lot of fun narratives in this one. Milliman, who left Cornell to go to Hopkins. Mitch, her former roommate, Chase Erlin, who played at Cornell, then played at Hopkins. Now he's assistant at Hopkins. And it is wild that these are two of the blue bloods of the sport, two of the most iconic, programs in the history of college lacrosse record books. It's littered with Cornell. It's littered with Hopkins. These two teams haven't played since 1987, which I think is fascinating to me. It's been that long since these two teams have played. Great color matchup, too, the blue and the red. I think it's going to pop well. I think it's a good game. I don't think Hopkins has enough in it to get to the next round.
You want to talk about a lax rat when someone says a good color matchup. I mean, you just got to love it.
You don't love two blue bloods playing for the first time. Mitch, 1987. Kevin Pelk's was still at Virginia in 1987.
Kevin Pelkey was at Calvert Hall, baby.
Yeah.
He wasn't even in college yet. Yeah. I love it. Color matchup. That's what it's all about. I want to talk about being a lax rat. James Hogan is at the top of that list. All right, it's time. It's time.
We've teased it enough.
Let's
see them.
Let's do a breakdown of our brackets. Dukes, kick us off. Who's your Final Four? Who's your champion?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's three top three of the 4 top seeds are in it.
He couldn't do the ACC tournament in the Final Four this year like last year.
You gonna take that, Dukes?
Look, the mid-10 kid's been talking all year about how the Big Ten was going to get three bids, 4 bids. It kept going down every single week for the last month of the season. Went from 4 to 2 real quick. But I got PSU over Princeton for my big upset in the quarterfinals. I've been drinking the Penn State Kool-Aid enough. When they do play the top dogs, they have top talent to get it done. I love their style against Ivy and ACC opponents. I love that they could get it done in the Big Ten tournament. It showed me that when their backs are against the wall, like how much fight this team has. Agreed with everything Hoagie's been saying all year long with the 2 faceoffs. Don't have them, though, carrying the mantle. I do think we're getting a Notre Dame-Richmond matchup. Again, Notre Dame's just consistency and floor is so much higher than everybody else's in this tournament so far, and I love that they didn't have UVA on their side, because I think something that's going very under the radar is that they are undefeated against teams that aren't UVA. Mm-hmm. I do have UVA getting tripped up over Richmond. I think that also might be because I really want that to happen. I think it would be so cool for little old Richmond to come into Scott Stadium and show out in the Final Four, play for a national championship. I love also the story of UVA Richmond. Jake Malasek did point out a fun fact for this graphic that we talked about last night in the show. UVA, to win the national championship, will have 3 games on campus.
Wow.
Yeah,
this will be the only time it's not on campus. I like Richmond in that spot. But basically a pretty chalky graphic this year. Yale is a little bit of the upset that I picked there. I do like UNC getting it done. I think Owen Duffy having a bye against Albany will help. Won't have to play. Will be healthy enough. And again, when he was healthy on Friday night, 7 points. It looked like he could. I was like, this is his Tewaaraton campaign. This is when he starts going. So again, it's Notre Dame, UNC, Richmond, Penn State. I have Notre Dame over Richmond. And
Who's your most outstanding player? Yep.
Yeah. It's the best player in the country. It's Sean Light. I think a defensive guy gets it done.
I like that.
Wow.
That could be sick.
Yeah, I'm going a little bit off the grid with that one.
Okay. Hoagie, let's go to you next.
Let's do it. Let's go. Let's get that graphic up.
Yeah, let's see it.
There it is.
Ooh, with the
baby.
logos.
Wow,
Pretty.
the guy's got logos.
Nice job.
There it is, fellas. There's my bracket. I went with Cornell last year. I teased it a little bit a couple months back. I think the Ivy goes back-to-back and wins their second straight national championship. I have Princeton winning the national championship. I go through the bracket a little bit at the top. That Princeton-Penn State quarterfinal game was so tough for me because those are my two teams. But I had to go with Princeton in that one. I think Virginia, I really feel this Team of Destiny vibes. I think they really have the offense to go. I think Duke's going to go to Robins Stadium and take down Richmond. I think they're just going to play with house money there, and then I think UVA moves on. North Carolina, Syracuse, I got Cuse going to the Final Four. And do I have a lot of faith in Syracuse right now? No. I think it's the biggest factor to me is I don't think they'll underachieve. I don't think they're going to win the national championship. I think they'll get to championship weekend. They've lost to Carolina twice. It's really hard to play a team 3 times and lose all 3 times. And Josh Marcus in net for North Carolina really concerns me. He's a true freshman. He's been playing his worst lacrosse of the season over the last month. And let me tell you what, Mitch, when that pressure's on at Stewart Stadium in Long Island and those boys and Joey and Michael Leo are spraying it on you and you're not seeing the ball, it can be a lot. A tough game on the bottom for me. I was really contemplating taking Cornell because I think Cornell is really good. They're really fundamentally sound. But kind of like Duke said, I think Notre Dame's floor is just what you're going to get week in, week out from them is so consistent. I had to take Notre Dame. I got Princeton, Notre Dame in the national championship. That's a matchup I told Toogs last night I wanted to see. I would love to see those two teams play it. I don't even know the last time they did. But Princeton is my 2026 NCAA national champion. Ivy goes back-to-back. Princeton got over the Cornell hump in the Ivy League championship. They finally get back to the mountaintop of college lacrosse. Princeton Tigers.
Love that. And the Mid 10 goes 1-2 in the tournament. I see for you. Good job.
Hoagie, your most outstanding player.
My most outstanding player is Ryan Croddick from Princeton. I think if Princeton's going to win a national championship, it's going to be because the offense is going to show up. We know the offense is going to show up. It showed up last year in the quarterfinals. It's going to show up the whole run. They're going to spread the wealth. I think what's going to get Princeton ultimately over the top is Ryan Croddick in net, playing his best lacrosse. That's what's going to get them the trophy.
Okay. Kev, let's hop to you. First initial thoughts on the 2 brackets you've seen.
I've got a lot of similarities with the 2 brackets we've seen so far. I obviously have Stony Brook going all the way. No. I also have Princeton winning the whole thing. I have them winning it over Syracuse. Throwback to the early 2000s where those two met in 3 straight. The 2001 national championship is when Princeton won in overtime. Syracuse won the other 2. I got my 2 upsets in the first round that I just alluded to. I've got Army over Penn State and UAlbany over North Carolina. Maybe I'm a little crazy for saying that. Maybe I'm just a homer for my guys, the Great Danes. But the biggest reason why I have Princeton going this far is kind of what Hoagie alluded to. They got over that Cornell hump, and I think that was just such a mental barrier because they hadn't beat them in 8 years. They lost to them at home earlier this year. I think after winning that game, you got to feel like you believe you could beat anybody. I actually think that the best game will be that Princeton-Virginia semifinal game. That'll be better than the national championship probably. Yes. I like the way Virginia matches up against Princeton. I think that's going to be like, if you like ball movement and great passing offense, that's going to be a great matchup to watch. Just really awesome lacrosse. And then I think once Princeton gets over that hump, it'll be smooth sailing, whether they're playing Syracuse or Notre Dame. I like the way Princeton matches up against both of those. So that's why I'm going with Princeton. I also had Ryan Croddick as my most outstanding player. The reason why I picked Ryan Croddick, one, he's top 10 in the league or in the country in save percentage right now, but also Princeton spreads it out so well, and they have so many good offensive players, whether it's Nate Kabiri or Tucker Wade or Chad Palumbo or Colin Burns. Anyone could step up any given game, and I think you're going to see along this run multiple guys, different guys step up different games. The one consistent will be Ryan Croddick in net, and so at the end of the tournament, it's going to go to Ryan Croddick. However, I do not think he will win the Tewaaraton Award.
I like the picks, Kev. Great minds think alike. Pretty close along there.
These guys might be synced with blood. You know, I think about that a lot. I don't know if Hoagie, your dad's actually Kevin, but we could do a DNA test next season. We could figure it out. Kev, pop up my tournament, I'm a Destiny guy. I'm a fake guy.
Cheers.
Bang, baby. Bang, baby. Also, I got the Red Foxes beating Stony Brook. I'm going to point that out. The only guy riding with the Marist, Josh Bulkersell, Chaz Michaels, Marist boys. I think they get absolutely slammed against Princeton, but all in all, just want to hit the Red Foxes real quick. Also, fun fact, none of us on the show have North Carolina making it to the Final Four. I think that's pretty unique as
I
well.
literally
feel like,
do.
Did you have them in there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I apologize. Pointing the thumb is something Hoagie can't do. My Final Four, Princeton, Virginia, Syracuse, Notre Dame. It's at Scott Stadium. Virginia's making the championship. I made the documentary about 6 months ago. I've said it, and I'll say it again. The Team 91 boys. There's one guy left on the best travel team. O'Neal couldn't do it. McAdory couldn't do it. Denenza couldn't do it. There's one guy from that team still playing, and that's Joey Splina. And he will conquer a championship. He's my most outstanding player. I can see it. Fate is a massive thing, and destiny will prove itself on Memorial Day Monday.
You're the ACC homer. You called me out with my bracket right away for being all ACC.
I'm telling you.
No. Hoagie
Mitch.
did. I didn't.
What?
I didn't call you out on
'cause
ACC.
Last year,
Yeah,
you
plug
had
the
all
thumb.
ACC last year. I think, though, I mean, if Virginia gets all the way to the final, I don't see a way they lose that game if they make it all the way.
Look,
I mean, if they got the
people want a
Syracuse
story-
matchup.
People want the storybook ending. Virginia at
But,
home.
Mitch, what has
hoist the
Syracuse done this
championship.
season to prove to you that they can do this other than the narrative for your documentary?
It's not the narrative for my documentary. I think it's the narrative of what you guys have all said. This class, what Joe Splin has said of when Joey and his class got there, they were terrible the year before. He's bringing 22
Yes,
back
but
and
what has
Syracuse
2026
with a
Syracuse
national
shown you?
championship.
What has
Hoagie, you
2026
keep saying it's wide open. It's wide open. Anyone could win, but Syracuse can't.
No, I think they can. I mean, obviously they can. It's wide open. I'm very reluctant to say Syracuse can go anywhere past the Final Four right now.
Mitch, you
I
said
think-
Joey Spallina, most outstanding player.
Yes.
You think he pulls a CJ Kirst and doubles up,
Yes,
most outstanding
yes.
player,
Yes,
and Tewaaraton?
if he
Yes.
gets that, he's winning the
Yes.
Tewaaraton.
Yes, 100%. Look,
I'm
I've
so
said it time and
confident
time
Syracuse
again.
won't win it. I'm so confident. I don't know what I would do if they won it, but I'll think on it. I'll come.
You
I'll
would
come
have
next
to
week.
do something for Joe
I'll
Splin. You'd
come-
have to babysit his dog or something.
Syracuse
Yeah, right,
tattoo.
Yeah, I'm not
You have to
getting
sleep
that-
overnight in the dome. 24
Yeah, like, I
hours
would
in the dome.
Stay
I would
on
be
the
so-
24-hour
yeah.
challenge.
I would dress
Mitch
up
will
for a
bug you
Syracuse
too.
practice, get hacked.
I love that. I'm excited, though. I mean, again, last year we kind of had a prediction, and we all kind of thought CJ and Cornell would do it. This year it is so wide open, besides the Twins having Princeton winning it all. Before we hop on for the rest of the episode, let's take a word and hear from our beautiful sponsor, Duke Cannon. Duke Cannon makes high-quality grooming goods that keep you dialed in. At work, at the gym, at the field, whether you're grinding through the day or running to your late-night lacrosse league, their products are built to keep up. Use code PLL2026 at DukeCannon.com for 15% off your order. Or find Duke Cannon grooming goods at Target, Walmart, or even on Amazon. We've obviously got the NCAA tournament starting this weekend, but we've also got the 2026 PLL season getting underway this weekend in Utah. Before it does, we've got to go on the record with some of our predictions. Don't want to say it, have to. Your boy did create the championship last year, Atlas. You guys want to give me my flowers? This is your time. I know I'm the host, but
This
I'll
is
lift the mic
Hoagie's
for
time to
guys.
give you some flowers.
Yeah, good
I-
job,
not
Mitch.
yeah.
That's-
You
That's
also
your
said
flowers. That's
when
your
we did
flowers.
Mitch.
Good job, Mitch.
Make a wish.
You also
Mitch.
said when we did this last year that you would get Bill Tierney to hit the frog, and you never did.
Yeah.
There is a picture out there, which I don't think is AI, but you guys think it's AI of him hitting the frog.
It's got to be AI.
It's AI.
It's definitely AI.
haven't
First
even
up,
seen it.
the big one. Which two teams of the PLL will make it to the championship, and who's ultimately taking home the hardware? Hoagie, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for this PLL season. I think there's a lot of teams who are in contention, and truly, the teams that you think it is now are usually not the ones who are in it at the end. But I'm going to take the Philadelphia Water Dogs coming out of the East. I think that offense, they're going to add Silas Richmond in. They're going to add Matt Collison in, Josh Yago in. To the already stacked lineup with CJ Kirst now in year 2 and Michael Sowers and Kier McCardle. I think they're a team that has had so much talent the last couple of years, and I think it's fair to say they've underachieved and haven't lived up to expectations for what they should have been. They got to the semifinals last year. I like the Water Dogs getting over the hump and winning the East. And then the West, I'm taking the Denver Outlaws. Getting to the championship. Last year they got there. That offense was great. Brennan O'Neill was MVP level. Pat Cavanaugh, McNaney. This Denver team, I think, is going to come out the West again. But I have the Water Dogs, Philadelphia Water Dogs, winning their second PLL championship in franchise history, beating the Outlaws. The Outlaws lose their second straight championship. Tough soak for Coach Sudan because I know how close he wants that championship, but I think the Water Dogs win it in 2026.
His heart just broke listening to that answer.
Dukes, let's go with you.
I
I'm looking
love
at your
the
picks right now, and I'm not going to spoil it because I'm a nice guy, but could I have predicted it? Probably.
Really? I love the Water Dogs coming. I love the Water Dogs coming out of the East. I think the upgrade from getting Gavin Adler off the Atlas, getting Michael Sowers his worst matchup for him personally, out of the East. The Water Dogs will also be, in my opinion, the best team come All-Star Weekend, which I think will help for seeding purposes because they're just so deep. They just have 5 different guys that could be the absolute alphas of that offense to kind of carry the load. Love the makeup of this. Also, Gavin Adler being paired up with Kenny Brower. I think Kenny Brower was one of the most underrated players in the league last year for what he could do on the defensive side of the ball. Brendan Staub, I saw this weekend, Garden City Grit, 19-yarder from 2, or basically it was a 15-yarder in the PLL for 2-point range. So I love what he's going to be able to bring for the LSM of the Water Dogs, but also how he pairs up with Marcus Hudgens, Ohio State's own. I think he's another guy that mucked it up. But again, love them coming out of the East. I have the Outlaws beating them in the championship. I don't really have to go into depth for why I like the Outlaws. The only thing I have to say is Brennan O'Neill. That's it. Fate, destiny. You want to talk destiny? Tim Sudan. We talked about him getting Evan Plunkett, the trade. I don't think he's really thinking about the future. I think it's win this year.
I hope you stick with that train because if that happens, I'm going to give you massive flowers.
Thanks. Yeah, get used to it, buddy. Not just for the PLL, for the NCAAs too.
Kev, let me ask you a serious question. Did you think fate world collides that Dukes was not picking the Outlaws?
I thought he would maybe pick the Water Dogs. I mean, he's kind of more of a Water Dogs guy for sure. But no, I also can't hate on him for the Outlaws pick. Brennan O'Neill's pretty good, solid analysis as well.
Yeah. It is funny. You can just go so into depth about many teams, and then if you're a casual lacrosse fan, you're like, "Hear me out, Brennan O'Neill." I was like, "Yeah, that makes sense."
Yeah,
that'll do. Kev, who do you got?
So I'm gonna go Atlas over Chaos, and so the Atlas repeat. So we know the Water Dogs have a loaded offense. Well, the Atlas have a pretty loaded offense as well. And the biggest difference for me when I look at those two rosters is I like their specialists more. I think they got the best goalie in Liam Entman and the best face-off guy in Trevor Baptiste. And so that plays for me. I know the Water Dogs have plenty of guys that can put the ball in the back of the net and attack. Do they have everything else to make a championship team? The Atlas, I know, have that. And then I'm going with the Chaos just because Stephen Brooks factor, man. I think that we saw it at the end of Champ Series, the way that team kind of rallied and came together. They've kind of been like a team that's in between identities over the past few years. I think they really settle in this year. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little slow to start, kind of like what we saw last year, but they pick it up and they get hot down the stretch. But I like the Atlas over the Chaos for this year's championship, with the Atlas repeating.
Not too far off you, Kev. Not too far off you. I got the Atlas repeating as well over Hoagie's team, the California Italian Redwoods, baby.
Mitch, that was your pick last
Joe's
year, right?
doing.
Did you have Atlas Redwoods last year, right?
Yes, I did. Yes,
Yeah.
I did. Yes, I did. Great memory, James. Great memory, James.
From last year.
Did not copy my homework. I had
Are you sure you're not on the 2025 sheet?
Yeah.
I think Schellenberger is going to repeat MVP.
Wow.
Atlas, sneak peek. Atlas is going to repeat as a champion. Trainer, Teat, Shelley. Don't know if Xander's going to be back in the mix, but he looks healthy. He looks really healthy. Just outstandingly healthy. And Presser's going to do it again.
healthy.
He's going to hop. He's going to look. He's going to come to us on press row like he did last year. He's going to look us in the eyes, and I just can see that man with his white beard dialed in. And I love that out of a coach that's doing it at a high school and pro level. Atlas over Redwoods. I just mentioned my MVP, Connor Schellenberger. he's going to repeat. I think a guy like that stood so close to the game coaching at UVA. Don't know if he's going to coach again next year. We'll find out. But ultimately, a guy that is a through and through lax rat. That's my MVP. Connor Schellenberger from the Atlas. Kev, who's your MVP?
All right, so this is going to contradict what I just said, sort of. But I'll go with C.J. Kirst as the MVP of the league this year. Now, the Water Dogs, they've got an embarrassment of riches on their offense, but I've never seen a team that C.J. Kirst is on that he wasn't the star of the team, the focal point of the offense. So I think the Water Dogs are going to be very good. They're going to have a very high-scoring offense, and C.J. Kirst is going to be their leading scorer this year. Look at what he did in just a very short stretch last year when he came in after the broken hand. He completely took over that team. Now, the team success wasn't quite there down the stretch, but C.J. Kirst was. The point production. I think he's going to be an absolute animal in year 2, especially if he plays close to a full season with the Water Dogs. MVP.
I got Michael Sowers from the Water Dogs winning the MVP. I think he's been knocking on the door now for the last couple of years, and he's been the front runner usually the first half of the season the last couple of years. And he's always kind of had that injury bug or got something nicked up and missed a little bit of time. I think he's due. I think he's been knocking on the door. We see how explosive and dynamic he is. I think he's going to be on the best team, which is the Water Dogs. I got Michael Sowers winning MVP.
So I had a feeling Hoagie was going to say that. I wanted to set it up because I love their answers. Where I think it would be so cool where you could get Michael Sowers winning it first, and then you get C.J. Kirst the next year, kind of how you saw like Jeff Teat win it for the Atlas, and then you got the second-year guy Connor Schellenberger win it. Another one that I loved your answer, Mitch, with Shelly. It's like I would also love. Like, I mean, I can't say everybody. I love to see this, but like the three favorite people that I like, I'd like the Matt Trainer narrative. To see the Atlas get 3 different MVPs, I think that's so
Sick.
cool. I'd like to see Sowers get over the hump or C.J. Kirst, but I'm going with Brendan O'Neill. Why? Brendan O'Neill. I really do think that from All-Star break on, we saw the Brendan O'Neill that could just absolutely take over a game. I think there's been spurts of it, moments of it, plays 2 great games, but like consistently. He became a guy that like veterans can lean on, which I don't think that I've really noticed. And I think it's takeover time. It's get the championship. So I'm going Outlaws championship. Brendan O'Neill MVP.
Dukes, without looking at the sheet, who do you think my Rookie of the Year is going to be?
Destiny. Well, yeah, he'll probably be there week 1 because he's going to lose this weekend.
Oh,
Get on the plane. Week
Joey
2,
Spallina, Rookie of the Year. I love that. Destiny. Look, he's going to have
Hey, Stags, get the plane in Cuse.
Yes, no, seriously. He's going to have a Chloe Humphrey type year. Just awards after awards after awards. 2026 is going to be a massive year for Dr. Spallina. National Championship, Tewaaraton. Every award possible is 2026 for Spallina, except the PLL Championship, as I have the Atlas. Dukes, let's go back to you. Who do you got for Rookie of the Year?
Rookie of the Year. I didn't pick Princeton to win it all. I didn't go into depth much about who could win the Tewaaraton for Princeton or who some nominees could be. But they do have the Rookie of the Year. I think Chad Palumbo will win Rookie of the Year for the Chaos. I think he'll be a focal point of that offense. I think that he'll have an Owen Hiltz type production in his rookie season. I think he's a guy that loves lacrosse. Again, he had a podcast last year talking about the PLL. This is a guy that clearly has been watching the league, loves the grind. I think he's going to have a star-studded PLL rookie season.
Hoagie?
I got Mikey Weishauer from Towson. Mitch, I know you're a big fan of his game. I think he's going to be great in the PLL. Obviously, Towson's season's over, so he should be able to go pretty soon in the league. He's going to get a shorty as that kind of tandem in the midfield with Matt Campbell. I think he's going to put up a ton of points, ton of goals. I think he's a guy that is tailor-made for the PLL, and he's fast and speed. I think he's going to be a great player in year 1.
Kev, finish us
Cannons
off.
have Stony Brook on their roster or on their schedule this year?
Kev, you can't criticize the competition of Mikey Weishauer Towson, but then not all.
It doesn't fit the narrative. You can do anything to make your narrative work.
I'm just kidding. And Mikey Weishauer also had a great fourth quarter in that game. Almost took over. So I'm just joking. But this is for real. I'm going with Ryan Steins.
I like that.
Out of Utah, drafted to the hometown Archers. He's going to be ready to go from week 1 in Utah. He's going to have a hot start. It's basically second-round pick, but basically a first-round pick. So first pick in the second round, so 9th overall. But Ryan Steins, to me, is a guy who everyone's going to learn their name. While everyone else, all those big names, all those guys you've heard about, the Chad Palumbos, the Joey Spalinas that you guys are naming, they'll be doing their thing in the NCAA tournament, and maybe they'll get to the PLL when they're ready and they lose. Ryan Stein's about to become a star in the PLL. He's about to be a PLL star. He's way better than anyone really realizes how good he is. We had Chris Bates on, remember, on draft night, and he told us about Ryan Steins. And he was like, this guy wants to be a full-time pro lacrosse player. I think Ryan Stein's going to turn some heads in week one, kind of have one of those. Remember last year, Jackson Eicher, everyone knew who he was, but he had that crazy week one. That's going to be Ryan Steins this year, and everyone's going to be, a week from now, be like, yeah, Ryan Steins could win the Rookie of the Year, but I know it sounds kind of crazy right now. Ask me again in a week.
I don't think it's that crazy. I actually love that pick. I love guys that can fit like a glove into an offense, and I think I like the way that you're thinking, like who's going to be ready early. I don't love Spalina's going to be a great pro, but I don't like taking a guy that's coming in with high expectations, going to be drawing a poll. What Chris Cav did last year, he did it as a second-round draft. It's crazy to say it, but Chris Cav was a second-round, and not a fake.
Nuts.
Right. So, looking back, it's like, obviously Chris Caver. Who could have seen this coming? It's like a lot of teams passed on him. So, I like this Steins pick a lot.
And the Archers have some openings. They had the worst offense in the league last year, so someone's got to come in and score the ball for him. I think he's going to have opportunities right out the get-go.
Do you think that hurts him more? Because he might get more attention early on?
Well, I mean, someone's got to score the ball. Someone's got to play offense for them. I think Ryan Steins is going to have the most opportunities. Yeah. Is he going to get more attention probably than he would on another team? Sure. Would he be running out of the box? I mean, I think he could start an attack for all I know, next week. So we'll see. I like Ryan Steins. And also shout out producer AP. Ryan Steins is from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Bang. Ryan Steins, a.k.a. versatility. You like that word, Kev? Ohio State education, baby. Lastly, let's chat about Coach of the Year. Kev, we could be similar here, as our hype for this guy's been through the roof for the past 6 months whenever he made the switch. I'm going with Stockton, Nova-based Stephen Brooks out of the Chaos,
Chicago.
baby.
From Chicago.
From Chicago. No. From Chicago.
Put
I said
respect
Nova-based
on Chicago
currently.
lacrosse.
I said Nova-based currently. You saw what he did at the Champ Series. I expect him to carry that momentum into the summer. Kev, let's bop to you. Are we on the same page or are we not?
Yep. Yeah, I'm going with Stephen Brooks as well. We saw what he did at Champ Series. I think he's one of the smartest offensive guys in the league, and he's going to bring a new energy to the Chaos. It's a new energy every year, but this one will be a different one for sure.
Love that. Dukes?
I'm thinking Billy T, the Frogmaster himself.
Mr.
I think
Frog.
Frogmaster, K-Stu,
Yeah.
pop up the picture. Bing!
So he is. I like that he relieved his GM duties. I think that for a coach of his experience, he's still going through a little bit of a learning curve with the pros. He's taking a step every year. I think this is the next step is going to the championship game, having a chance to get over the hump, exceeding expectations or reaching expectations that the Water Dogs were a championship culture before he got there. So bringing them back. And Hoagie talked about them not really fulfilling expectations. It's tough for me to say that because they won it in 2022, which doesn't feel so long ago. But now this is a whole new Water Dogs team. So this would be not Bill Tierney taking Copeland's core to the championship. This would be Bill Tierney taking his team to the championship. So Bill Tierney, Coach of the Year.
Hoagie, finish us off.
Yeah, I'm taking the guy that, honestly, I thought was going to win it last year. I think we said should have won it last year. I'm taking Anthony Kelly from the Redwoods. I think he's going to have this Redwoods team. We saw last year in year one what he was able to do with that Redwoods team and completely revamp them from really the Redwoods had kind of been trending towards the bottom of the league in purgatory for the last couple of years. They were ascending towards the top, a game away from making the PLL championship. I think, again, this team's going to have a really good year this year. I think they have a great staff, Chris Collins and co. I think this really Redwoods team and the culture is very strong. I really think Anthony Kelly is going to have this team again. I wouldn't be surprised, Mitch, I know you picked them to go to the championship if they're in the championship because I think they're going to be up there. I think Anthony Kelly, great guy, great leader, great person. I got AK as Coach of the Year.
If I could hedge mine, if I could have a hedge with one other coach, it would be Chris Bates.
I'll give you a hedger.
Yeah, Chris Bates is someone that I think could be that coach like an Anthony Kelly, where you have low expectations going into the season and absolutely exceed them. It would not surprise me at all if we walked out of the West and it was like, oh yeah, Chris Bates is the number 1 or number 2 seed. He's that good, and I mean
nobody's taking Stags.
Kevin Boylard.
Don't trust him.
Yes,
What do you
Mitch.
think about that? Chris Bates.
I think he's going to need to get a lot out of his short stick defensive midfielders for him to be the coach of the year. And hey, maybe he will be. You know, we've seen some revolutionary stuff in the PLL in the past, and maybe in a year everyone's doing that. Maybe everyone's dressing for short stick defensive midfielders. But that's what it would take.
I have a tough time ever betting against a coach like Chris Bates, someone that has the eye test and evaluation talent like Chris Bates, and someone that has Brett Dobson in cage. Ooh. Brett Dobson is an X factor. You hear a lot of stuff coming out of training camp, how teams look. This is how they. You can't take into account not having Brett Dobson between those pipes. You don't know anything. He's a game changer. He could have won goalie of the year last year, and he wasn't nominated. You could make the argument last year. He was led the league in save percentage, had the second most saves. If you break down the list, you could make an argument he was robbed. And I bet you if you asked him straight up, he felt like he was robbed.
PLL starts this weekend. I cannot wait.
Pumped.
Absolutely jam-packed weekend
baby.
of lax. Best time of year for any lacrosse player with a little mix over from college and PLL. Obviously, the season start this weekend, and so does PLL Fantasy. As we discussed a few episodes ago, we are competing in a league this season, and we need to decide a punishment. We had about a 30-minute conversation before we started recording, and the consensus is, drum roll please, the loser of this challenge has to do the one-chip challenge, baby. Oh, wait, baby. Hoagie and I did this at Ohio State. Just roll the clip as B-roll. One of the worst experiences I've ever felt in my entire life. But I say, hey, how are we going to grow the channel? How are we going to grow the podcast? Bingo. Content. Hoagie, how do you feel?
I mean, I'm just going to have to dial in because that was the worst experience of my life. So
Explain what the one chip challenge is.
So it's basically just one chip, almost like think of a Dorito. If you just took a Dorito, and it's the hottest chip in the world. You eat it, one bite, and your mouth is on fire for about, I'd say 15, 20 minutes, Mitch, right? And then, you think longer?
Yeah, I would say that's something you do on a Saturday morning. So
no,
it's
because for me,
completely out of your system Sunday.
When I remember, it was 15, 20 minutes. My mouth was on fire, worst pain. Then I was fine for like an hour. It's like, oh, easy does it. Then it starts traveling south. Then the stomach starts going. You feel like you got the stomach bug. Then you start throwing up. Mitch was on his knees in the toilet. You can see the clip on his YouTube channel.
You gotta get.
But he's like an Italian.
You go into the tub of ice cream like this, and you're just. So look, boys. All I can say is I will be trying very hard to not have this done because this is one of the worst things I've ever done on the YouTube channel. You can check it out.
Can you paint the picture though? You're not doing a good job painting the picture for what that pre-call looked like. Hoagie was crashing out before the show.
Say it.
We were like, I was like,
I didn't want the one chip. I'll say it was terrible.
I was like,
I'm
willing to do whatever.
I wanted the food challenge at Sammy's.
Hey, we were saying SAT, and you were like, not good enough content. Well,
not good enough content. Then I go,
this is
what
great
about
content.
the one chip challenge? I heard that sucks. Mitch is like, oh, brutal. Hoagie's like, no, we're not doing that. No.
Being the Grinch.
I mean, we're doing it, so it's fine.
Right away, I was like, we should do that.
this is why everyone listening right now needs to sign up and join our fantasy group because you guys need to be monitoring Hoagie's score throughout the season. Because if he loses, none of us want to do this. Hoagie is dreading this. So everyone should be rooting for Hoagie to do the one chip challenge at the end.
Way more than Mitch doing the shoey. The shoey, it was like just like
funny.
was
nothing.
Some of us would enjoy that.
Yeah, I did it for fun. Actually, the show that I missed, I did it at my nephew's baptism, just for fun.
Never forget it took Mitch 10 minutes. Never forget it took Mitch 10 minutes to drink that Ultra post-game after the championship on the field last year.
I know, yeah. My computer ran out of space with how big the file was. It was such a long video.
We got to get you War at the Shore ready, dude.
Worth the shore. I cannot wait. We're going to actually stay tuned. Again,
Mitch,
subscribe to the channel.
Couple drinks at
follow
Parker
the
House, they'll be
podcast
ready
because
to
at
go.
the end of the day, we're going to do a live Mitch Opelka Lacrosse show at the Airbnb with Team Frog. All four of us going to be. It's going to be fantastic. Let's finish up the show with a little Duke Cannon, work harder, smell better, moment of the week. Gettysburg Bullets. Shout out to the guy by the name of Benny Passoff, Riverside alum, rocking. The Bullets win the Centennial Conference, but the Gettysburg, to go into overtime, to tie the game, they hit a hidden ball trick to force overtime against Dickinson. They ultimately went into overtime and won the game, ultimately crowning them Centennial Conference Tournament champions. Kev, describe that play for the fans that are listening on podcasts.
Dude, so this is the key here for the hidden ball trick. You've seen a hidden ball trick where obviously there's a little flip and one guy acts like he has it and the other guy has it. This was a different one. This is, what's it called? What's it called where you slap heads? Is there a name for that?
It's like the Stanwyck
Shaq
thing that
Stanwyck?
Hopkins did.
Yeah,
in
the well, we're officially naming it now. It's the Stanwyck. But it was the one where you slap heads. And it was one of those things where, I think it was maybe 10 seconds left in the game and they rolled that play out. It's kind of the thing you only see in D3 because that's way too big a moment to break that out for any D1 team. And then it's the type of thing also, if that goes wrong, they slap heads and the ball goes flying out on the end line. Everyone's clipping that too and saying, of course, D3 action right here.
Yes.
But it worked to perfection. They practiced it. Those two dudes, both named Jackson Hearn and Jackson Barrel, shout out to both of them. They combined for 11 points in that game, and they gave us the highlight of the weekend. On Conference Championship weekend in D1, the best highlight of the weekend, the Centennial Conference in D3. Congratulations to Gettysburg.
Bang!
That was a sick play. I
that.
saw it right when I opened Twitter. I was like, wow.
Seems
That
like
was
some
elite.
Will Ferrell shit that he'd come up with in Kicking and Screaming.
Yes. Yes, I love that.
That's some LaRoche type stuff right there, Pelks.
LaRoche,
Yeah.
baby. Dukes, serious question. Do you think you would make the LaRoche men's lacrosse team if you tried out?
You're such, dude. You are such.
You were pulling anyone
I feel
off
like-
the campus.
We
that
had a
could play.
soccer player. that's never even played.
Why? Would you make it? I mean, they needed it. They see, like you were in a position. I know you have
Dukes,
eligibility.
let's fast
You had
forward
a
10, 15 years.
Here he
If
goes.
your kid is 18, he's like, Dad, I really want to go to LaRoche. What are you saying to your kid?
I'm gonna be like, son, you made a better decision than going to Ohio State.
We need to get AP in here
Those
talking
are-
about Lise McCrae.
Lise
Get some respect
McCrae.
on their name.
Shout out.
Yeah,
Grant
he's
Jr.
coming. Look at him. Yeah.
I love that. All right, before we hop into Ball Knower, we got a little voicemail, right, Kev?
Yeah, we got one voicemail here.
Oh,
So
we got
this
a call.
actually came in last night during the live show with Dukes and Hoagie. So we didn't get a chance to play it on the show. Wanted to give this caller some love. So I'm just going to play it.
What's up, boys? As far as my take for the tournament, this is more of a Tewaaraton take. I think even now, regardless of what happens to the tournament, I think it was Dubes or Hoagie on the TLN broadcast brought up how it was the Miles Thompson sharing the Tewaaraton trophy. I think even now, having the Miller brothers share it would be totally fitting. I think even regardless of what happens in the tournament, there's really no one player that has really set themselves apart as far as winning the award. And with the level of ability that they've shown being able to turn around UVA season, I think giving them the Tewaaraton would just be something really fun and, frankly, kind of a down year for the award overall.
Interesting.
I do have some bad news for our caller.
Can't do it.
And I'm going to share a link with you guys.
Is it not
Unfortunately,
allowed?
to my understanding, Brendan Millen is not eligible for the Tewaaraton Award because he wasn't named as one of the 25 men's nominees.
Wow.
And a little bit of news. I want everyone to click that link if you can, and you can open it. In there is the 25 men's nominees. This show is dropping on Wednesday. If my timing is correct, the 5 finalists will be named on Wednesday, which is a big reason why I said Croddick's going to win Most Outstanding Player, but I don't think that he's going to win the Tewaaraton Award because I don't think he's going to be named as one of the finalists this week. So if you guys can open that up, I'm curious who your 5 would be that you think is going to be named as the finalists on Wednesday.
Wait, can we take a beat and just how insane is the fact that he's not even on this list?
It's insane. I know that. I think it might have been Zach Harry or Jake Malasek or one of those UVA homers on my Twitter feed talking about like Shelley got robbed in 2021 as well, and then won most outstanding player. I really don't. We've been talking a lot about Brendan, and rightfully so, because what he's doing as a freshman is unbelievable. But if McCabe won, I would have no problem. He's been just as good. He was TLN's player of the weekend for what he did in the ACC tournament. So, my 5, I got to go Owen Duffy. I got to go Brady Wambach. I'm going to go Joey Spallina. I'm going to go McCabe Millen. Sean Light.
I mean, that's similar to mine.
Yeah, anyone got any different ones?
I would go Joey, Spallina, McGuire, Sean Light, Palumbo, and Duffy.
Yeah, I think there's got to be a Princeton guy on there. I actually think they're going to go Kabiri, just because he's their leading scorer. I think Spallina will be on there. I think that Owen Duffy will be on there because they're just not going to give it to a Fogo.
Yeah, Spallina's going to be on there.
And then I actually think Silas Richmond will be on there just from a perspective of very good player.
Kev adopted Silas yet?
I'm not going to call
Father of James Hogan and Silas Richmond.
Hey,
if
when we
Hogan
asked
did
Clark,
this-
he agreed with me that he should absolutely be a finalist. I'm not saying he's going to win, but I think he should be a finalist.
Dude, you say if I...
Time out. I will say
then
this:
Sean Light.
if you put a lie detector test on him today, and you weren't just dropping the series with Silas Richmond, go check that out. By the way, Clark would not say that. And also, Kev, if Hoagie did this, if Hoagie had a player like this episode. Strike 1, I would have let it go. Strike 2, I would have raised my eyebrows. We're officially at the point of the podcast where I have to say you're lying about one of these things. You do not think that Silas Richmond will be in the Tewaaraton, and you do not think they'll beat UNC.
I mean, mid-season, I said, okay, look, do I really think that they're going to beat UNC? Like, no, I'll give it a
Yale
less than 50.
15-2 2 weeks ago.
Okay, the whole team had food poisoning that game, and they didn't play.
Drop the knowledge,
watch.
Kev.
Go watch
I'm
and
back
play
in
that
on
game.
Kev.
No one.
I'm back in on Kev.
Anyway, when we did this exercise at the end of March or whenever it was, I said Silas Richmond would have been my pick to win the Tewaaraton at that time. Yeah. He's been top 10 in scoring the whole year. I think he's the most electric player. I truly believe that. And Paul Carcaterra, we don't tell him who to do through X with. He came to us and lobbied for Silas Richmond. So I'm just saying he's got to be one of the 5 players who are invited. I don't care that Albany's not going to go past the quarterfinals, probably won't go past the first round. But to me, objectively, when we watch that dude play, in a year where we say, oh, no one's really taking hold of the Tewaaraton Award, dude, if he was on any of those teams that are contending, it would be a no-brainer. So that's what I think.
I'll stick up for you again. I just wanted to bust your balls a little bit.
You should.
He's one of the 5 best players in the country, but I don't think that's also what goes into being a Tewaaraton nominee.
No.
Yeah, there's
That's
a lot
why
of
I think
politics and all that
they
stuff.
want to put their eggs in the right baskets, too.
Right.
And in a year where, like, when you say Brady Wambach and Owen Duffy, I don't think they can afford to do that because they can't count on UNC being there at the end.
I agree.
I don't know. They still respected UNC enough to give them the 3 seed.
That is true. But the Tewaaraton isn't the same people that are making the bracket.
Yeah.
Donna.
Like, I really don't take the...
I still think Joey's going to get it. I think if they make the Final Four, I think he's going to get it.
That would feel like
If
a very
Palumbo's
happy
not on
Stafford.
there.
That would feel, I don't know. I wouldn't yell and scream at the clouds like an old man. It would feel very Matthew Stafford-esque. Like, we don't know who to give it to. So let's just give it to
What
Joey.
if Joey's just – there's no way he's not on the finalist thing.
Unless he makes – if Syracuse obviously makes a championship game, like, I would have a tough time being like they got there without Joey absolutely dominating and being the best player of the tournament. But as it stands today, do you think if the award was just a regular season award, do you think Joey wins?
Who would have it over him right now, do you think?
Yeah.
I
hate to say it's like he wins it by default, but I kind of think he would.
Yeah, who else would really have a
potential. I mean, mine would maybe be McCabe. Like even the ACC Attackman of the Year, I had a problem with. By the way, how Joey got that because Joey won it. I think it's so dumb that we do conference player. That we do conference player of the years and we count stats out of conference. Like if you're doing who's the best attackman in ACC play? It was Brendan Millen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So that's where I'm like, why are you giving conference player of the year awards or attackman of the year awards to stats out of conference? And then like it's a whole dialogue on Twitter, but like Brady Wambach winning like defensive player of the year. What?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
What? So dumb.
We need to get you
Can we get back to conferences too? Doing a first team with 3 attackmen, 3 middies, a face-off guy, goalie, and 3 defenders, not just 7 attackmen, 0 defenders. Like it's like now it's just 10 players. It's not a team. Have you noticed that?
I like offensive players, but I wish.
Yeah, it should be all attackmen.
You do? You think so, Kev? Are you on that?
There should be 9 attackmen and a goalie.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of down for that.
I mean, those are who we talk about. I hate to say it, but it's true.
Yeah, facts. I mean, now we're kind of rambling at the end of the show, which I'm always cool with. Don't get me wrong, but like even we're about to go into tournament time. The way that they do the all-tournament team for the NCAA Final Four is one of the craziest things ever.
Yeah, isn't it a media vote?
To peel back the curtain really quick for a fun story at the end of the Cornell game, CJ Kirst at halftime of the national championship. I think he had 0 points, right?
Yeah, he did.
And I entered my ballot. He wasn't on my all-tournament team. And then in the second half, he had like 8 points. One most outstanding player.
Yeah. Also, there's a million things I'm trying to do during the game, and it's like, oh, you're asking me to think like what happened 3 games ago? Oh my god!
Yeah.
Ask me to vote right now.
I love that stuff.
Lacrosse, baby. If
Lacrosse.
you're still, again, watching at this lengthy episode, you're a real one. Hit that subscribe. Follow us on the podcast. We're going to finish up with Ball Knower.
Mitch, shout out a commenter you think is still listening right now.
I think a commenter is probably Avery Gaming.
Yeah,
Avery Lynch.
That would have been mine.
Avery Lynch, always listening.
Legend, Avery Gaming. I know you're listening. Shout out to you. Ball Knower, AP, with that bald head. Oh.
Wow,
Can we
Mitch,
get
that like
there we go.
glitch. It went from like
Bingo. It
Yeah,
did
there
glitch
it
on
is.
me. Did glitch on me. I love it. AP, how we doing?
Good. I got a little correction for Dr. Kev. Ryan Stein's actually from Cary, North Carolina.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Negative
I know
1
you're
ball
probably
knower
listening.
point for me to start.
No, it's okay.
We got McDougal blood
That's
there, so that's probably why.
Did he play for 91 Charlotte?
I think he did play for Flanagan, yeah. It's
Well, I
always a
don't count
fight
club
in
teams.
Charlotte between like 91 and Team Carolina who like can claim Bobby Van Buren. Like but
Yeah, is he under the Flanagan protection route of Twitter, where if Charlotte Lacrosse gets brought up, I'll check his feed tonight because Flanagan goes hard for the Charlotte boys.
he does. He's
he does.
He
a
does.
West Islip guy who has
Yeah.
adopted North Carolina. It's one of the only New York like commuter down that lives here that I will accept. I
don't
do.
like
I
the
do have a
Yankees, got
fun ball knower for the group.
Okay.
This is not
Wait, do we have
mine.
the standings?
First off, okay, Zach Carey, who everybody should be familiar with by now, sends a lot of these ball knowers. I'm just the face that gives them to you. His one today was unbelievable. Nobody would
hear
get
it.
it.
I like that.
Nobody
Like too
would
hard?
get it.
Can you do it for fun?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it for fun. Here.
But just setting the stage.
So this
Somebody
isn't
gets
the
this right. We're not counting
This isn't the official one.
Zach's trying to make us look bad,
Okay.
so one of us gets kicked off.
He's kind of a
and he
dick,
replaces
yeah.
us.
Do you guys want to count it? Do you want to point if somebody gets this?
Yeah, sure. If
Yeah,
it's
let's do
if
it.
it's
Sure.
too hard and someone gets it.
Okay, we'll do
Yeah.
it. All right, so
Paul Rabel.
the question is Princeton is the number 1 seed for the first time since 1997 when the Tigers won the national championship. Who were the 3 members of that team's legendary attack line?
PJ Prager.
Chris Fratelli. No, he went
Swing and a miss.
Yeah.
Was Ryan Boyle?
BJ
on
Ryan
there?
Boyle.
Ryan Boyle.
No, sir.
No, he's younger than that.
Was I right?
No.
What the hell?
I have no idea.
Do you mean to tell you
Yeah,
guys?
this is like
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
It's Jesse Hubbard, Chris Massey, and John Hess.
Actually,
I
that,
should've got Hubbard.
I don't,
no, that was That's a ball.
Mitch,
knower,
we're too
but-
young. Mitch, we're too young for that.
Yeah.
So
Zach's an old soul.
he is. He has a record player. His parents only let him listen to vinyl.
He definitely
I
likes
can
like
see
yacht rock.
Well, let's not forget his father
Yacht
is John
Rock
Gruden.
Radio.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Deuce Gruden.
All right, now
is
ask
his
us the
brother.
easy one.
All right, this one is a spin zone from Joe Keegan.
Paul Rabel.
I'm throwing assists. So, the last time Maryland missed the NCAA tournament was 2002. What was the Billboard #1 single that year? I will give you a hint.
Hands up.
I have no idea.
I never
Kevin,
made it as
what'd
a
you do with
wise
your phone?
man.
I'm trying to think of what grade I was in.
I don't know that song. That's not my. I'm a rap guy.
Yeah, I don't.
In Too
I'm a
Deep,
country
some
guy.
41.
Do you want? I'll sing it. We can't play it for copyrights, but I'll sing it.
Wait, hold on. Zach says we have another one.
Do you want to do this one?
I think we. Do
I
another one,
literally
I'll be
gave you
honest.
guys the first lyrics.
I've heard the
I
song,
couldn't
but
even
I don't
make
know
it
what
out.
it is.
Did
Wait,
you?
what is it? Let me hear it.
Yeah, it's I never made it out of wise man.
How You Remind Me
I've
by
heard it.
Nickelback.
Mm.
Unreal. minus
Zach
one for
Carey
everybody
does
here.
vinyls.
All right. Last one is the last time Maryland didn't make the NCAA tournament was 2002. I lost my train of thought. Hold on.
Mikey Powell.
I lost my thing. The last time Maryland missed the NCAA tournament was 2002. Who won the national championship that season?
Princeton.
Syracuse.
Kevin. Bingo.
Over Princeton.
Fuck, I said Mikey Powell.
Yeah, bro. Why
Mikey
did you
Powell
say
did
Mikey
win the
Powell?
national championship that year.
I knew it was
You've been
going to go
spraying
on.
Paul Rabel and then Mikey Powell.
Well, no, for anybody
He's
listening
taking a
out
Mitch
there.
playbook last year. Mitch just named the whole MLL.
Oh, God,
Hey,
tell the
Dukes, you
story,
got it.
Shelby.
Hey, Dukes, you got an honorary ball knower point for. I was listening to the stream last night. Maryland lost their streak, and you off the rip knew the next longest streak was Georgetown. So.
I got to know my biggest hater. I have to know my biggest haters, what they have in the weapon.
Because they're ready to
Mitch.
come at you and
Do
you're
you know
ready to
this,
go.
Mitch? Do you know what we're going to ask?
No, I did. I think you told me this, or maybe Kev.
So,
Georgetown.
what's the longest
I
active
told
streak
you
for
this on the
NCAA
field
tournament?
at Rutgers, Mitch.
Yeah. It is. I don't know the years, to be honest.
What? All right, how
I know
about
it's
this?
Georgetown. I don't know the years.
How about
Oh,
this?
okay. No, that's fine. That's fine.
After
That's fine. That's a
Georgetown,
fine answer.
who now has the second longest streak now? Ball knower points.
Wow. It's not an
Notre
ACC
Dame?
team.
No.
Penn State.
2022.
Close.
No, Penn State's not been that long.
Close,
Don't tell
dude.
me. Don't tell me it's that team.
What team?
Is it Hopkins?
No.
No.
They lost. They
That
missed
would be
last year.
crazy. They missed it last year.
I don't know. Who is that?
Princeton, 5 straight.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't a long
Penn
one.
State's at 4, Dukes. You're close. Penn State's at 4.
Because actually funny. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We will see you guys next episode. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on podcasts. Best time of year if you're a lacrosse fan. We'll see you guys next episode. Peace.